one stock weighing on all of the indexes. The Dow is down 0.5%. Morgan Stanley, obviously not in the Dow, but clearly you have probably some sympathy declines caused by this 3% gap down in Morgan Stanley. Ed had mentioned GS, Goldman Sachs, also reporting. And you can see GS probably not as bad. Still trading near that 21-day. Initially popped higher at the open, but has reversed lower. That's why I have a pink bar. And volume for now running 528% above average. Let's also look at KRE. This is the regional index ETF by SPDR, Spiders. This is gap down and it's down 2%. And then XLF is the plain vanilla version of FAS that David showed. Now, this select sector Spider down 1.1%, heavy volume, and just below the 21-day for the very first time. So we'll see. Keep a close eye on this financial sector because that was part of the reason why we saw that pretty nice breadth expansion. Here is Evercore, EVR, very well respected company that specializes in mergers and acquisitions, but they bought a company that Chris and I really enjoy in terms of the research, Strategis, ISI. It was a merger with ISI. ISI was a great research firm that everyone quoted back in the late 90s to 2000s, and then ISI got acquired by Evercore. What do you think of this one, Ed, right here? Do you think this could be an emerging base to form?
It could be. And this is normal. I mean, often we've seen a lot of stocks do this, but there's a reason why it got into that green shaded 20 to 25% profit taking zone. That's because often a lot of stocks will hit some resistance there. Now, sometimes the stock will just blow by it. Doesn't matter. Sometimes the stock will plunge, and so that's it. Then or plunge or sell off and just not come back. And sometimes it'll consolidate. And this one's traded very tightly. We've seen a lot of that recently. It'd be great if a base could emerge. The 10-week line is catching up. There's earnings in 2 weeks, so you could imagine all these things coming into play. I don't know what Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, what their business was like in terms of M&A and other things. So I don't know to what extent their business said positive things about Evercore or implied it or not. But this one has been acting quite well. Now the numbers do not look great. It's supposed to be a much better 2024. But that's something to note. Now, obviously, sometimes these financials can go without, on a turnaround, but you definitely do have to keep that in mind, is that the numbers have not been great on this company, but it does have ups and downs. It's had 2 bad years and it's supposed to have a big bounce back this year.
Oh, a huge bounce back. Although, Ed, you're right, 77% growth expected in this calendar year, but still $10.74 is a far cry from what it achieved 4 years ago, or at least in 2021.